All right, off the rails. We are back with Meet the Savages Part Two.
Ooh,
Here, joined with Ryan, and I just checked right before we went live today. We were at 29 subscribers, one away from 30. So if you are watching this video and you have not hit that subscribe button yet, be that 30th person, and maybe you'll get to be the next guest on the
ooh.
show.
What if I
Now,
subscribe as number 30?
if you
You
don't want
should.
to be a guest, just let us know and subscribe anyway. So with that said, Cameron, I will pass it over to you, and we will get this started.
Alrighty, we got Mr. Ryan Savage, the other half, with us. He's waving. Classic. Likes to wave at everybody.
Yeah,
You gotta say hi. We'll talk some CrossFitty things, and you got something prepared for us at the end, which is always nice.
sure do.
Um, but let's chat. Let's chat your kind of journey, and then let's chat about physical therapy and how that fits into CrossFit and the
Great.
world. Kind of your job. I see you wore your Onward shirt.
Yep.
Mr. Onward himself. I'm just kidding.
Kind of.
Kind of, at least for Greer, right? So you started CrossFit in Charleston when you were in PT school.
Yep. I
Yeah.
just graduated. So when I was in PT school, I got a free membership to the wellness center for MUSC. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And then once I graduated, that perk got taken away. And my buddy Cal, he was programming for a gym in Charleston at the time. And he was like, hey, if you come over here, like I'll do kind of an on ramp, show you the stuff, and then you can join for free. And I was like, free? Okay.
I like free.
Yes. So I went over there, and at first it was like, okay, how hard can this be? You know, I've been working out for a long time. And then it was hard.
Yeah.
Very quickly realized how much I didn't know. It's one of those like outside the gym, I think you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I learned very quickly that I didn't know a lot. So I had fun kind of like learning some of the basics of, you know, Olympic lifting and the gymnastics and things I just never really touched before. In a way, I'd never really touched it before, and pretty quickly fell in love with it. I felt like it was a good competitive
I
outlet
was
for
gonna say,
me.
was it more of the challenge of learning new things, or
Yeah.
was it also like you felt like, oh, I've definitely been missing these things and like need to do them?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I definitely I was the classic guy who like skipped leg day and all that stuff as I was going to the wellness center, and I was kind of getting bored almost in my own routine, and so I knew I needed something else, like some other driver, and then that kind of like reignited my love for fitness all over again.
Yeah. Before CrossFit, before PT school, let's talk about competitiveness.
Mm,
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Ryan used to be a fencer
that was my sport.
back in the day. He was
Yep.
a fencer. What age and how far? You did really well in this. I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't want to say like you were like a national champion or something, but I know you did.
Yeah.
So what was your fencing experience?
So I like
Northern
saw,
sports.
right? I know it's not huge up there, but it is bigger than here. But yeah, I saw something about fencing on TV as like a kid and asked my parents about it, like, hey, can I get into this? And they were like, no, it's just a phase, whatever. But then I kept asking about it, and did the classic parent thing that I think is good of, hey, if you sign up for this, you have to do a whole season, and you're making that kind
Like
of
you're not
commitment.
quitting. Yeah.
Right. And it was like, okay. So I did it and just never stopped. So I started in like third grade and did it all the way through high school. And anytime I was home for like a summer break or a winter break from college, I would try to find a competition just to do to see if I still had it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, in high school, I qualified and went for the Junior Olympics 2 years. I forget which years, like 2010, maybe something like that.
Nice.
Yeah. So
We have an Olympian at the gym. People don't even know it.
Junior Olympian,
I mean,
junior,
we can skip that part.
very different.
But no, that's an interesting sport for like footwork and like body awareness and agility and
Mhm.
things like that. So it's interesting that like you went from that to, oh, I'm just gonna be a bro and like lift and like
Right.
not do these things anymore. But then do you feel like CrossFit kind of brings some of that back into
Definitely. I was actually thinking about that on my drive over here. It was interesting because fencing is a very like 3, 2, 1, go, and you like sprint, stop, reset, sprint, stop, reset. So it's very like anaerobic sport. But my coach growing up was very much of the belief. He always used to tell us like, hey, if you're up against somebody who's better than you, try to be able to outlast them. So then we did a lot more endurance than a lot of the other clubs and gyms in the area. And so if I was ever against somebody that was like, I know I can't beat you like skill wise,
Yeah.
I would just try to tire them out and be able to keep going when they couldn't, kind of
Right.
thing.
I
So
don't understand how fencing is scored really, but I do understand it can go multiple rounds.
correct.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that's obviously you know more probably now about aerobic, anaerobic, and things like that. So do
Mhm.
you like I have this experience with baseball, basketball, like soccer growing up of just like looking back and be like, man, the people training us really didn't know what they were doing. Like physically, like they were just like, you need to lift and move some stuff. But like when I look back, I'm like, that had no benefit to like what we were really trying to do other than just like, we're going to make these kids be active and hopefully that's going to make them better at their sport.
Yeah.
Versus I feel like these days there's a lot more like sport specific focus training, which
Mhm.
I don't know if that's better or not, in my opinion. I think it depends on where you're at. Not that we have to go down this rabbit hole because that's definitely a rabbit hole. But um the kids class try to keep it to where it's like hopefully this makes you more well rounded.
Mhm.
And we even do some like ball tossing things and I had them try to hit with like a foam roller and a ball the other day.
And
Like
accuracy.
yeah, and just like kind of introduce different things. And I feel like us having Hallie is like that's how I want her to grow up is like gymnastics, body awareness type of things. And then like, okay, let's just move and be fit and then maybe figure out what you like to do.
Yeah, I mean, there are studies on early specialization in sport and how it's not usually a positive thing.
Right.
So a lot of times, unfortunately, it comes from good intentions of parents typically like, hey, I want my kid to be a baseball player or this, and they just like that's all they're giving them. When in especially like earlier childhood, like if you can just give them exposure to different things, they're gonna get a little bit better at all of it.
Yeah.
And again, hopefully not burn out of
Right.
the one thing that they want to do or you want them to do or whatever
Yeah.
that might be.
And I feel like CrossFit can be a good thing for kids to be fit and move, but then you have people also specializing in CrossFit and kids, especially younger. And it's like, same thing. You're probably just going to burn out on that and then you're not going to enjoy working out at all. So it's really interesting to see where like sports training is going. But yeah, it's just funny that you're like, yeah, our coach was like, outlast them. And then it's like, well, anaerobic's not really like cardio, but like you still, I guess, got fitter so that you could
Right.
hopefully like attack people. Stab
Yeah.
him. Anyway, sorry. Rabbit hole to fencing. So yeah, PT school, and then you got a job and moved here.
Yeah.
You got the job, or you were interviewing for the job? Like,
I was gonna move up here because there was a girl that lived here that I was like kind of into.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think I know her name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think she was like on the podcast last week. I don't know.
Maybe.
But she's really pretty. But so I moved up here. And so I was looking for jobs in the area. Found one that I definitely liked. But I kind of moved here with the intention of knowing that I liked working with active people, CrossFitters, people who like I guess, valued activity already in their daily life versus having to convince them to get off the couch in any capacity kind of thing.
Right.
And so I started out with the intention of I'm just going to start dropping into different gyms and like be there for a few months and then go to the next gym, be there for a few months and just kind of do that over and over in a cycle. And then hopefully everyone knows me enough that maybe they'll like come see me or whatever that looks like in a PT capacity. And I get to work with the patient population that I like.
Yeah.
And then I dropped into a couple of gyms. Nothing like overly negative. Like they were all fun and good. And I was like, yeah, that's CrossFit gym. And then I dropped into Taylors and I didn't realize how new y'all were. Cause I just like moved up here, and Googled CrossFit gyms in the area. Yeah. And you guys were pretty close to the apartment that I was living in at the time. And so I dropped in. I believe Ryan Gerald was coaching my first class.
Probably.
And I think I remember that it was the Chief that we did.
Okay.
So what is that? Like 5 rounds, 3 minutes,
3 minutes on, 1 minute off, I think. Or 3 minutes on, 2 minutes off. And it's push-ups, power cleans,
and air squats.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
I
reps.
haven't looked at it for a while.
Yeah. We've done it a couple of times.
Have we? I feel like the last time I remember doing it, I think was
that
day.
day.
I think. We may have done it one other time. I think I actually just looked at it a while, like 2 weeks ago when I was looking at programming stuff.
Okay.
Because I was trying to think of like some older benchmark things that like really I haven't seen any CrossFit gym do in a while,
Yeah.
of like those just like classic, like the Chief and like Holly Man, which we like to do,
Yeah.
but like things like that that I feel like used to be really consistent, or like Fight Gone Bad, or like Filthy 50.
Yeah. We've done that before, but it's been
A while, right?
Yeah.
Like those are like, to me, those are like old school benchmarks that like people just don't touch anymore. So like the Chief's one of those. But anyway, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
yeah. But it was a pretty small class because I mean, again, you guys were pretty new, and I know it was you, Tay, maybe one other person.
Yeah.
And
So
me.
this was an afternoon class then, because I think he used to only coach like the 5:30 or
Yeah,
6.
it was 5:30 or 6:30. It was
Yeah.
late. And Hershey was there, so that was a plus. And I just remember afterwards sitting on the floor for probably 45 minutes afterwards, just kind of shooting the shit with you and Tay. And I think Ryan had to leave, but we just were talking, and I was like, "Uh-oh, I like this gym too much."
They have a dog.
Right. Yeah. And I was just petting Hershey the whole time. We were just talking. And I really liked your philosophy of, again, being more of a wellness gym, of like, hey, I just want to get, if I can move the needle of the greater Greenville area's fitness up a little bit and improve everybody's general state of life, that's what I care about. And I was like, that aligns exactly with what I would love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So unfortunately, I've been here
So
for
you've been here. You didn't jump around.
right. So yeah, I got stuck. You got me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, Hershey got you.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
true.
Hershey. It was
Yeah.
her. It was her. Let's be honest. Cool. So obviously you started, and then you realized we were new.
Yeah, right.
And then you started coaching for us, what, a year later?
Yeah, roundabout.
Yeah. I think, yeah. It was post-COVID, or did you start coaching before COVID?
No, it was
You and Chris
post-COVID.
started at the same time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it was right after, or pretty quickly
Yeah.
afterwards.
Was that something that you ever thought like you would potentially want to do or be interested in, or was it just like I obviously asked you, was like, hey, would you be interested in this? You were just kind of like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't really like start with the intention of getting into coaching, but it became kind of clear because again, like Devin was moving away, Travis was moving away, Ryan Gerald was having some other like he was moving to farther away and wouldn't be able to be as consistent with his job. And so I knew that it was clear that you were then having to coach more classes.
All of them again.
Right.
Yeah.
Because again, and I remember Chris Duke texting me of like, hey, are we doing this L1? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then you texted me like 30 seconds later and you were like, hey, I just texted Chris or something like that. Yeah. So it all kind of worked
Chris
out.
giving away my secrets.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. 30 more seconds.
Yeah. Do you, so like one of the reasons why I asked you, because obviously you fit into the community and stuff, but like I feel like a lot of our coaches, I try to like either have previous experience or education, but like your background of being a PT was like he should, which you do, like see how people move, and that's something that like is beneficial as a coach. But then also like I think we had talked that you wanted to work with active people and whatnot, so like I feel like that kind of like married those two things together. I was like, I think Ryan would be a good fit at this. But my question is like, as a CrossFit coach and then as a physical therapist, if you separate those things, do you feel like those things align as far as like teaching people stuff, or do you feel like they're two completely different worlds? Or does it?
There are definitely differences, but there's a lot of assessing movement, watching people, things like that. I think in the PT clinic, I let myself get into the weeds a little bit more, whereas in the gym, I almost have to like stop myself from getting into the weeds too much. Like in here, if I see somebody, not getting to parallel, not getting to depth or whatever on a squat, it's less trying to figure out if there's like a mobility restriction in their left or right hip that's not allowing them to get below parallel. And it's a little more like, okay, maybe if we just boost the heels up in here, then we can now drop a little bit lower, or like, what can I do in here to get them to get more of the stimulus that we're looking for? Whereas in the clinic, it's a little more like, what is actually going on that's limiting you that we need to work on, kind of thing.
Do you feel like that's separate? Obviously you get paid in the clinic to do that, like because people are coming for that information. You're like, all right, this is what you want me to dig into. And then in here, it's more just like, okay, you're just trying to move today, so like let's just make sure that happens.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the separation for you?
Yes, and I feel like without taking the time to really do a thorough assessment, I'd be doing people a disservice to just kind of guess and
This
be
is
like,
your
yeah,
problem.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it could be coming from the hip, so try this exercise, you know? So I
Right.
try to do less of that and more of like a, hey, I know if we like, again, if you stand on a plate, you're going to be able to drop a little bit lower. So let's just like do that. It looks good. That's good enough for
Yeah.
now. If it becomes like painful or there's like something that you've been trying to work through and you just can't, then it's maybe like, hey, come see me in the clinic and we'll try to dive in a little bit more and actually figure out what's going on.
In PT school, obviously there's lots of different PTs, right? Like I just was working with my buddy earlier who had a stroke, and there's like special PT for that.
Yeah.
And then there's like senior citizen type of PT stuff. There's post surgery, post op stuff, and then there's like obviously active stuff, which is what you're doing now. In your other job, you seem to work more with like Medicare level age people.
Yeah.
When you were in PT school, did you like how does that exposure happen? Like, do you get introduced to those different things, or is it all kind of like everyone gets the same education and then you kind of like choose what you want to do?
That's essentially what it is. Like year one is very orthopedic based, year two is very neuro based, and then year three is a lot of your clinical rotations where hopefully you're getting more exposure to whatever world you want to go into. It is hard. Like 3 years is a long time, but at the same time, it's also not that long to learn everything because you have to be good enough at all of it so that, you know, if they're sending a neuro PT out to work in the hospital system, that they're not going to mess something serious up there, and also send people out into like the orthopedic setting to work with athletes or anything like that. And again, know what they're actually doing there. So again, it's like very broad, and then it's kind of on you and up to you as far as like continuing education and stuff like that to dive deeper into whatever world that you're involved in.
I always found it interesting, and this is for obviously Taylor's chiropractor, and like the school setting is kind of the same. And I've found it interesting through coaching, which I didn't really know, but I guess because when I started CrossFit, and then we moved within the first year of me coaching, we were at like a chiropractic CrossFit combination gym.
Mhm.
And then I went to Florida where she was in chiropractic school. So a lot of the people in the gym there and coaching were chiropractors. So in my head, I was just always like, oh, these people know how to move.
Mhm.
Like if they're in this health field, they understand how people move. And then when we opened this gym, it was like, we are teaching, not necessarily you in general, but like we still teaching you, like physical therapists and chiropractors and people in the health, doctors, nurses are coming in, and it's like they don't know how to move. And it's like, but isn't it your job to help other people move? Like, so why are we teaching? But it's also good because it's like, okay, I can help correct hopefully some train of thought, like old school train of thoughts and things like that, and just the knowledge that I have. But then also like obviously we bounce back and forth ideas a lot on things too, where you're like, well, this might also be the issue or whatever. So I just always found that interesting of like, do you feel like there should be more like movement class or something in like physical therapy school of like, hey, if we're trying to get people moving, like, shouldn't we also know how to move?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like PT is called like we're supposed to come out of school as like the movement experts, and then like looking across like my class, it's like we're not moving well, guys. So it's kind of funny. Yeah,
Do you think that has to do with like the standard that CrossFit has versus like maybe like in the eyes of like the general public, like, oh yeah, your knees bending, you're moving, or like, you know, like not, I know that's very like basic, but like there's not like you have to be below parallel or you have to like keep your back straight or whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, that joint's back moving, like you're good.
Yeah, and honestly, like I feel like CrossFit was kind of ahead of the curve as far as some of like things research wise that PT was still behind. Like I still hear some PTs say like, "Oh, don't let your knee cross over your toe." And it's like there's so much research being like knees over toes is totally fine. And
Right.
CrossFit was kind of before the PT world started preaching it now of like, yeah, that's fine and
okay.
we know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like I don't know. I feel like it's easy to come out of school of like, I have my doctorate. And so you're up on this like high horse thing and you know better than everybody. But when I first started coming to CrossFit, both in Charleston and here, I was like, this is all new to me. Like, I don't understand like how to kip or, you know, things like
Yeah.
that. Of like, I've never tried to move this way before. So maybe I had a little bit better of like body systems and movement and like where my body was in space, but I still had a lot to learn. So I would leave my ego at the door, which is the advice that I give to everybody of like, you got to set that ego aside,
Yeah.
do the PVC pipe, do the light weights, get the technique down first, and then worry about like how much weight you're putting on the bar
Like how
or
fast you're going.
yeah, what sugar watt is looking like and things like that.
Yeah. I wish, like what you said earlier, like we could just get everyone to focus on that. Like the goal is like get a little bit better, move better, be healthier, you
Yeah.
know. But it's obviously the competitive part of what we do is what helps push people to continue to get fit. So it's like this angel and devil of like we have a scoreboard, but like don't look at the scoreboard, but
Right.
like also look at the scoreboard because like you do need to push yourself. Yeah. So that's interesting. I've kind of always with the physical therapy and the chiropractic world, and obviously any other thing that fits in that bowl of just like, man, like, and I wonder if it's just because like it obviously CrossFit is new in general, and it came from Greg Glassman and kind of his ideas that were just more like, hey, evidence based, here it is, versus like trying to change an entire educational system
Mhm.
of beliefs from however long ago of like, no, what this person said in the 20s is no longer correct, and it's just like this slow ball of like, oh, it's finally getting there.
Yeah. It's almost building it from the bottom up rather than the top down kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's interesting. So since we asked your wife this, would you consider yourself a competitive athlete?
I'm a competitive person. So again, I feel like this has been a healthy outlet for me personally of like this, here's a way to get some of that out, and like scratch that itch kind of thing. Um, I think I am a little bit better at switching that off when I need to, though, than I don't know, for example, my wife is. So I feel like, if I'm not feeling great, that like I'm like, I know I didn't sleep well, whatever. I can put my bar facing the wall and like I'm not gonna look at the clock or anybody, and I'm just gonna move what feels okay today. And I feel like I'm relatively good at doing that. I think there's some
Yeah,
people, Sabri namely, that just goes into the
just
gym saying that and then doesn't quite do it.
turns it on and goes.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. To the point of like, so competitive to just being competitions, which I think we kind of asked her the same thing. I know we've kind of talked about this. There's like certain things now that you've been around longer that like I feel like are on your schedule or like on your mind.
Hmm.
But then do you ever get like the random itch to do a random competition, or like how would you say you approach? Because I've gotten a couple questions from members that have either been here for a couple years or just newer members of like, hey, I'm really liking this. Like, what's the next chance to compete?
Hmm.
Like, and then I'm always like, there's so many options, but I don't really know where to like. So how do you find like, what is there like? I haven't done it in a while, so I'm kind of itching to do one. It obviously there's a one coming up, you want to do, or is it like someone asked you or a new one? Like how do you go about like finding competitions?
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, I just follow like all the local gyms in the area. So I feel like I stay uh, aloof of any happenings or events or things like that. So that's helpful so that I can see when they're having something. And then I'll typically scroll through their events and be like, oh, that looks fun. Like the one we randomly kind of did in Central South Carolina.
Tacos and tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like they announced it. I looked at the workouts. I was like, those seem fun. Cam and I could do well with that. Let's go do it. And then you were
Do
open
you
to it.
pick comps that you feel like you can do well at, or just like they look fun and I don't care if I do well or
I
not?
think it's the fun part.
Okay.
Like, and typically, I guess something that I would consider fun is probably something I would do okay at.
Fair.
But typically, yeah, it's ones that look fun. Like the one that appealed to me there is they had like a trail run, and as you were doing the trail run, you had to
That's
stop.
my
and do
least
different-
favorite
Yeah,
event.
yeah. And I was like dragging you along, like let's go. But yeah, maybe I should have
That was-
taken a
that was
couple more of the
fun.
sled pushes.
That's
but
all right.
Yeah,
I don't think that was the problem.
but no, but like that one, that part of it, I was like, that's different. That's unique. That
Yeah.
seems fun.
It's not just like show up to this gym and do the same like couple movements that every other competition has. And, like
Correct.
call it a day.
Yeah. So that, but I do Fittest to the Coast is definitely one that I kind of plan on. But there was a year, I think 2 or 3 years ago, where I felt like I was doing so many comps because I was like new to it and they were fun and exciting every
I
time.
feel like that was the year that we did Fittest of the Coast. No, we did because I had the same conversation with somebody like literally last week. I was like, I'm pretty sure there was a year that we did like 12 comps. Or so.
Yeah.
It was seemed ridiculous, but there was the one where we did like almost 3 back to back to back because we did the 4-person with us, Sabri Tay. Then
Yeah.
we did Fittest of the Coast. Then it was like the open, but there was like something else in there too. I feel like there was just like it was a lot.
But yeah, and we also did like the Wadapalooza qualifier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, crash.
Yeah.
And then crash again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And every time, so Cam and I obviously compete a lot as
a lot.
partners.
He's strong. I'm not.
Right. And he's good at gymnastics. And I'm not. So again, I feel like that's let us balance each other out. But I feel like almost every comp we do together, it's like after the first event, we're lying on the floor and like, why do we sign up for this every time?
Well, we don't practice them, which I'm proud of. Like people all the time are like, "Did you practice this?" And it's like, no, like we're just gonna show up and do it. Like
Yeah.
how I have a strategy and go hard. But I do always feel like after that first one, we say that, and then we go recover, and then we're like, okay, now we're like in the zone of
Yeah.
like we're ready to like where do we end up? Like what do we need to do? Kind of go from there. Um, but I do know competitively, your least favorite thing to do is redo a workout.
Oh yeah. I mean, I went through my
Why?
phase.
Why?
I know how
But
bad
you-
it's gonna hurt, and I always quit. I always quit the second time, and I've just learned that I'm always gonna quit. So I just don't need to do
I think
it.
I finally realized I just can't convince you to do better. Like, but you're always like in a spot where you're like, I'm like, Ryan's doing better. We're gonna qualify better. This is great. And then you're just like, nah,
I can't do it.
I'm done.
I can't do it again.
I can't finish it.
Yeah.
God.
Every year, Harrison always gives me a hard time when we did the open workout. That was deadlifts and burpees over the bar at 225,
Yeah.
like ascending to 10 and then descending.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we both agreed to do it again, and
You quit
yeah,
halfway through.
well, I quit halfway through.
You weren't even. You were like 2 minutes in and you quit. I
Yeah,
think.
he was like, I don't really get mad at people, but I was mad at you, like, because he was like, I want to be sitting on my bar, not doing anything too, and he did so much better, and I was just dead.
Yeah. Yeah. That's You should repeat workouts in the open and other qualifiers if you have the chance to try to do better. That's my 2 cents. But sometimes you don't want to, or you don't feel like you can. And that's okay. Cool. Yeah. Competing's fun. I'm trying to think of a good coaching question for you.
Mm.
What's your favorite part of a class to coach?
It depends on the class, because I feel like I'm getting more exposure now to different classes. Just that now that my work schedule is all over the place, I have a little more flexibility. So sometimes I'll coach a 5:30 a.m., a 7:30, a 9. Like I coach them all pretty much, which is fun, and I like that. Because I know you and maybe it was Savory, somebody else were talking about like if you always coach the same class, there's pluses and minuses. Like you,
I think Nate and I were talking about
Oh,
that
it's
in an
Nate.
episode. Yeah.
like you guys get to know who's in that class really well, but you're also kind of limited because you don't see everybody in the gym moving and things like that.
Right.
But so I honestly like just the different vibes of the different classes. Like it's really funny just how
I feel like
different
I've
they are.
talked about it for years, but a lot of y'all don't have the experience of it. And
Right.
You're like, oh, with the noon class, like it can't be that crazy. But then you go
It
coach a noon
sure
class,
is.
and you're like, yeah, that's completely different than anything else I coached.
Yeah.
And like the 9 a.m. to 5:30.
And 5:30 used to, I feel like, be a lot quieter, but there's been some additions like Jacob, John,
Yeah.
Kevin always, but it's gotten a lot more talkative and chatty in a positive way.
Yeah.
So, and I'd say that they are the most supportive class of each other. Like on
agree with that.
Sugar Wad, they're like commenting on each other's things of like, wow, you crushed it today. Like I saw Michelle on the rope climb day yesterday. Sarah Schultz had commented on her Sugar Wad, and I was like, oh, she has a comment, and it was just
Yeah.
like, hey, you crushed those rope climbs today, and it's just this little thing, and I was like, I would never do that to somebody in the 4:30, but
They're
it's just
trying to
cool.
support each other because
Yeah.
they don't get support from everyone else.
Yeah, they're their own little niche.
gym, basically.
Yeah,
They're like,
that's what it feels like.
CrossFit Taylors 5:30 a.m. is its own thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that as a coach has been good for you to like not necessarily just the vibes, but like to see now different athletes and different people and like, oh, there's other people struggling with these same things that I've coached these people on, but now I get to help them. Or also like I haven't seen someone have that issue, so now I need to think about it a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like I get a lot more trial and error with people as far as cueing and things go. Of like, okay, that really worked for this person, and people are pretty open with me as a coach about, oh, Cam gave me this cue and it was really helpful, and then I kind of like log that in my bank of cues, and then try that with somebody else because so it's almost this. And it's funny to see the warm up too, but it's almost this little game of telephone of like someone at 5:30 a.m. tells me something was helpful, and it's like great, and then I'll try to use that again at 4:30. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But again, the warm up, it's funny if you coach the 5:30 a.m. or you're at it and you write something up there, and then if I come back in the evening, it's like a little different, or it's totally different, or it's the same. It's just funny to
Yeah. It definitely is. And my mindset with that has always been like, really at different times of the day, you probably need different types of warm ups because like depending on how much movement people have had. And also, again, it goes back to the vibe of the class too, or like how on time things need to be. Of like, yeah, at 5:30 we can probably get away with stretching a little bit more. We probably need to because we just woke up and like get the body moving. Versus in the afternoon, it's like, well, we can probably hop into a little bit more active like movements and like get things going. But there's still like the standard, like the shoulders need to be stretched, or like these presses need to happen, or something like that. So it is kind of fun to watch it change and change, and sometimes change back and then change again. It's like, no, this was my warm up and it worked.
And I will always take inchworms out of the warm up best I can.
Least favorite movement, inchworms.
Inchworms.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so what's your least favorite part of a class to coach or thing to coach in general?
Keeping track of the clock is pretty, because I'll get so talking like in a conversation with somebody, and or not even conversation, but just like talking about like, all right, on this next rep, this is what I want you to focus on. This is why, blah blah blah, and then it's like, oh shoot, 2, 1, go. But it is kind of helpful now that we have more coaches that rarely am I the only person who is a coach in the room. And we all do a good job, I think, of kind of picking up each other's,
seeing that, like, yeah, you're coaching somebody. Okay, like I'm not gonna be like, Ryan, don't say something about the clock. Like, let him keep coaching and then yell it. And I think we have some members that will do it too now. I've noticed, like if I am the only person at like noon, there's been some members that are around for a while, especially on like an Imam day or whatever. They like see that you're with a newer person, or you're clearly like in the depths of like coaching, and they'll just be like, all right guys, like,
we're going to 10.
And you're like, hey, thanks man, thanks for picking that up. But it definitely can be hard. I will say, like, learning to coach, that part almost seems so overwhelming that you're only focused on it and you forget to do the other things. And then once you start actually coaching, you then like the clock almost becomes like, oh shit, I forgot. And then, because like the worst is when it's supposed to be like, I did it with ageless athletes the other day. They were supposed to be like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off of some stuff. And they were doing, luckily it was rowing, because it was alternating rowing and wall balls. And I was like, someone wasn't squatting low enough, so I was trying to like set feet marks, so like, because they kept like getting narrow, and so I was like drawing on and they were rowing, and they're supposed to only row for 30 seconds, and I really didn't think I was like drawing for 30 seconds, and I looked up and they were at like the 40-second mark, and I was like, stop. And then they were like, really, we had to do 10 more seconds. Obviously they were just giving me a hard time, but I was like, it could have been on the wall balls, like it could have been worse.
Rather 10 extra seconds of rowing.
But it is stuff like that like I feel like over time, obviously I just did it, but like I started to get that second nature of like, something seems like just like the back of the head of like, oh yeah, there's this thing that like, and then you look and luckily it's like a minute before the time or something like that. Because sometimes you'll be caught up coaching, it'll be a 10-minute cap, and then you look up and you're at like the 9-minute mark. You're like, yeah, 1 minute, guys, or whatever. But like, yeah, the timepiece can definitely be a hard thing. And that typically means if you do miss it, like you were probably coaching, right? Like, which is what we want out of coaches. Like if you missed it because you're like on your phone checking Instagram sitting in the corner and like then it's like, all right, like what are we doing? But yeah, that I don't think that really happens. So cool. Well, you had something for us.
For
so
sure.
Let's take it there.
All right. So I basically made a little list of superlatives.
Okay.
And I would like you, me, and Nate to all write down who comes to mind first when you hear
this is out of every class all day long.
Every class all day long.
Current members?
Current
or could
members.
It be an older member?
It could be anybody that's here.
Okay.
And then I'd like us all to reveal our answers and see. I'm curious if we are super spread out and we have 3 different people for everything.
But what if there's 3 people that fit the description?
Hey, well, I'm not saying one of us right and one of us wrong. All right, so the first one is just most likely to say, I'm here just to move today, and then fully send it.
Can we write more than one person?
I have 2 for a couple.
Okay.
I'm here just to move today.
And then they fully send it.
Fully sends it.
There's a lot of people that could fit this.
I was going to say, I don't know many people that walk in the door that they're like, I'm just here to move today. All right. I'm going to go with. All right. I'm going to go with that one.
Okay. I also have 2 for this one.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Claire. Yeah.
Nate, right? Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like every day he comes in and he's just like, I'm tired. I'm not really going to like work hard today. And then like he's at the top of Sugar One. It's like, all right.
So much for that.
Like when you said that,
Player
one
makes
initially,
sense,
it
too.
was like, oh, Corey Davis.
Yeah, that it's not wrong.
Matt, I like Matt.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What was the other one you had on?
Bryce.
Bryce. Oh, yeah.
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 Although Bryce kind of walks in like, I'm here to fully send it today.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Most likely to be the last one ready to start the workout.
Oh, boy. I got this 100%.
I just had this experience the other day.
I feel like we got the same answer. Oh, hold on.
I also don't know how to spell this name.
Yeah, I might have spelled it.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
No offensive. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Brittany.
Brittany. Yeah.
Also, I mean, same idea. We're in the same ballpark.
Same but different.
Danielle will be like still getting weights out, and everyone's out there like percentage ready to go, and she's like just putting her first weight on. I'm like, come on.
All right. Most likely to wear a weight belt, have wrist wraps, lifters, grips, and knee sleeves on.
Ooh, so all the gear.
All the gear.
I was gonna say myself till you said
I
grips.
definitely did this the other day, but typically I don't.
All the gear.
Trying to think of just like who generally wears a lot of stuff.
I got one.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Jitesh.
Jitesh.
God, Oscar.
Oscar's probably the best.
Yeah.
Oscar probably wears it here.
Just wears it to work. Getting ready for work, wakes up, puts it on.
Jitesh is true too.
Yep. Most likely to win the first round of a 5-round workout and then crash.
I think I'm not getting a whole lot of female names in here, but there's got to be.
Got to be a fully send and then a crash.
Let me see if there's another one here. Hold on. She kind of does.
I mean, you got more
Yeah.
opportunities.
All right, we'll call it here.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Rob Schultz
Oh,
is
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Crispy for
I mean,
sure.
I feel like his goal every time he's in a class with Wolf is, I'm going to beat you on round 1.
On round
and then
one.
I'm just gonna crash.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I remember Rob Schultz first dropping into the gym and telling him like, "Hey man, you might want to like pace that first round." And he was like, "Oh, I never will." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh, I never will.
Yeah, he was-
He's just trying to make sure he always gets the intensity out of it.
He was so self-aware. All right, best gym hype person.
Best gym hype person. Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Joe Run, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sabre's good, though,
Yeah,
too.
I'm a little biased, but
She just sings a lot. But no, she will yell at people. She'll yell at people too. Let's go.
let's go. Most likely to redo an open workout multiple times. Three, two. Oh,
Hold on. I got a list over here.
Okay.
Should have just made it coin
we're
boy.
going 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Oscar.
I put myself on there.
Okay,
I
that's
redo.
good.
I almost redo them all at least once, if not twice.
But they hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Most likely to chalk up before a running and burpee workout.
Most likely to chalk up.
Think about this one. He always does the little.
Mm.
Oh, classic. I was trying to think of someone else. We keep picking on the same people.
I mean, they
3, 2, 1. It's gone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There was a right answer to that one, I guess.
There's
Most likely to walk better on their hands than on their feet.
I think I spelled it right.
3, 2, 1.
Callie's good.
Yeah.
Fair bird. Yeah. Both of them gymnastics.
Yeah. On, was it Monday, the handstand workout?
Yeah.
Yeah. Callie, I was coaching that class, and she kind of started to lose her balance. And so she like spread her legs where one was forward, one was back to like catch herself, but then kept walking with them like that. And I was just like,
What?
this is ridiculous.
Who'd you have?
I put Bert.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just I couldn't think of anything.
Good gymnastics.
Most likely to have the most drink tallies at the end of the month. Three, two, one.
Robbie's a good one.
Well, I also put Robbie G for the month that
Oh.
Robbie didn't realize that another Robbie G had joined,
But
and just
also
put all of his tallies on the
Robbie Gilchrist
Yeah.
is, well, maybe that's why it was, but he does like at least his first month he grabbed 2 elements every morning.
That's because the
One
other
for
Robbie was.
himself and one for his wife.
Oh, he was actually.
Yeah, he actually grabbed 2 every morning,
And then plus Robbie would put another one on there in the afternoon.
John comes in the morning one morning and I'm coaching. He's like, Cam, we've got to get my guy some kind of bulk discount.
Most likely to have their shirt off by the end of the warm up.
Ooh. That's a lot of people these days. Yeah. Oh no, for sure. Yeah, we'll go there.
3, 2, 1.
Wolf.
Yep.
Also, Wolf. We'll write that on there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him work out with a shirt.
With a shirt on. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the first movement, maybe.
Well, we were kind of talking about that the other day, and like he's been up here a little longer, but down in someone was asking us, or it was maybe when Sonia was moving to Florida, and I was like talking to her, and he was here, and I was like that's normal. Like you might just walk in the gym without a shirt on down there because like it's that hot and that you're gonna get that sweaty that it's gonna do nothing for you. So I just feel like that's like part of his habit of just like like whatever, this is coming off.
I
But
don't want to ruin my shirt.
yeah. Need to have something to wear later.
Most likely to still be lying on the ground 30 minutes after the workout's over.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Ah.
Yeah, it's got breathing.
Yep.
Gel rod.
No wrong answers here.
There isn't. There's not. There's not.
It's just giving people a hard time. Most likely to walk in 5 minutes late.
Oh man.
You just write noon?
Noon 05. I'm trying to think of the people that are the most consistent at like not a minute or two, but like 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes. Crushing this guy today.
3, 2, 1. Oh, Kayla's a good answer.
Good one.
Yeah. And then
Ben and
I just put the captain of the Nuno
the
5.
captain, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, Captain Nuno 5. He's gotten better.
Yeah, yes. Most likely to come in on Thursday and do some unhinged workout.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Those are my 2.
3, 2, 1.
John and Jacob.
Yep.
Yeah. I haven't seen him, but
he said that you told him to do acid bath, right?
He told me he was going to do acid bath.
That's terrible.
If you come in on a Thursday at 5:30 and do that, you get that.
Yeah, it was the day after the member hangout at 13 Stripes, and him and John Darling were like, "Oh yeah, I think we're gonna do acid bath in the morning." I was like,
What?
Okay.
I've definitely just seen Claire over the years just come in on Thursday and just like bury herself in the corner and just be laying on the floor. I'm like, it's open gym, right?
Yeah, like you can stretch. All right, last one. Most likely to skip a workout if it has running in it.
Classic.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh no.
Allison, pardon me, Nate.
Call yourself. Yeah.
Did I send y'all the video of when there's running and It's someone trying to get in the gym, but it's like locked, or
yeah.
like the bay doors
It's
open.
open. You're like, I can't
Wolf
get
sent
in.
it to me, and it was like Tommy on running days, and it was like the bay doors open, and then like the door right next to it is locked, and they're like, "Oh no, I can't get in," and then like it pans out, and it's like the gym's like wide open.
They're like, come on in.
I
It's
sent
like,
that to Tommy, and I was
the
like,
door's
"Yeah,
locked.
this is you for sure." He's always got to like mow the grass or something. It's like, dude,
You
just
mowed it yesterday.
show up.
Yeah.
uh,
Cool. This was fun.
it was fun. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting with us, and thanks for being a coach.
My pleasure.
And for helping set up competitions and run competitions and things. Speaking of fittest drinkers coming up, got lots of things in this room that we got to get ready, but it's going to be good.
Yep.
Ordered food today for the volunteers.
Can't wait to eat it.
Yeah. Don't hate me for everything in a competition. Ryan is part of that too. FYI.
And so is Nate. Everyone in this room is guilty.
Not for competing as much.
I thought you helped with Mayhem last year, no?
I did house party.
I might have.
House party.
Yeah. I might have ran some things.
Yeah,
down.
you're not.
Okay.
Your hands aren't clean.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I
true.
will say, if you do that one from Mayhem that we talked about
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago,
Yeah. Be a good one.
Oh, a little teaser for November. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We got some things coming.
before we completely sign off, I do have one question for Ryan. So from a physical therapist standpoint, in terms of like a warm up, would you prefer like active mobility stretching, like line drills, things like that, or more of a static before what we do?
Yeah, definitely for what we're doing, more of a dynamic type warm up. I think,
Active for people that don't know what that means.
yeah, active dynamic warm up. I think the issue, it's not static stretching isn't bad, but you get pretty much the same advantages through moving through some ranges a little bit quicker. And the thing I start to worry about if we're really holding some static stretches in some new range of motions that we're not used to, and then we go snatch a barbell and our shoulder goes back farther than we were used to it going. Now where it's starting to increase just what our body isn't used to and then taxing it in that position versus doing more of a dynamic thing. Your body's going to do what it can within its already or its current ability.
So like let's just talk with snatching, what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, just take snatching. What kind of dynamic stretches or dynamic movements would you recommend for if you know you're going to do like, let's just do a 1 rep snatch?
Yeah. So, I mean, I like sometimes I'll put kip swings in a warm up that doesn't have like any sort of kipping on the rig in it because I like that it's getting the core a little bit active and should be an active shoulder lat activation thing. So I think kip swings, don't sleep on kip swings. That's a good, if you're doing them right, that's a good thing to throw in the warm up for anything like shoulder wise. And then I try to get the shoulders active in their actual like end range. So doing anything like up overhead, the I's, T's, W's, as much as they suck, that is getting us warm in the position that we're about to use our shoulder in versus doing a bunch of like stretches down like below parallel or below that 90 degrees of the shoulder when what we're actually about to do is task it way overhead.
And then would you say obviously recommending static stretching for days off, post workout? Like what would a cool down look like then? So
Yeah.
let's say warm up is active. What would a cool down be?
So honestly, I still like the dynamic movement. I think that there's been a movement in research a little bit away from static stretching, and they found even moving through ranges of motion in a loaded position, for example, like squatting, instead of just stretching your hip into that end range. Like if you do squats, it improves range of motion the same kind of way. So cool down, it's mostly just not finishing a workout in here and going sitting in your car and your body goes like it's almost like you pulled the e-brake while you were speeding down the highway. So it's like slowing to a stop. So hopping, I like it when I see people hopping on the bike or going for a cool down walk or something like that. I think that just kind of almost lets your body know that we're slowing things down the same way warming up. It lets your body know you're about to use it.
Cool.
Yep.
Good answers.
Great.
I like it. Well, you pass.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
We'll keep it.
didn't know I got graded.
All right, Nate. Let's close it down.
All right, that has been another episode of Off the Rails here at CrossFit Taylors. Once again, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, 1 away from 30. So, love to see that by the time we do next week's episode. And of course, leave comments if you have any questions or any feedback for the episode today, anything you liked or didn't like. With that said, it's been another episode Off the Rails, and we will see you all next week.
Woo!